It's time for the Ella Johnson Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show, where there are two sides to every story. Enjoy the broadcast. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Ella Johnson Show. Listen, I know you guys are enjoying these Black History moments that we're having. I know I am. I know my friends are. It's just, what can I say? Black history is something that it has been an honor for me to like really delve into it because I hadn't before. Like I had never been, we know some things, but we never really dig deeper and find out what the story really means, who else did it, what were times like back then, how were they able to accomplish what they did, and we can't, we're still stumbling, and they had so much less. Like all of that, don't you want to know? Well, that's all tied in our Black history. Do you see Black excellence? It didn't happen by mistake, okay? It didn't happen by mistake. And I have a video on YouTube that I want you guys to check out. Now, it's too long for me to play it during the show because, but I do want you guys to please watch it. And it just kind of gives you an idea of where we were back then, how we were able to accomplish so much. It just kind of takes you through that story. And you want to know. I mean, you want to know and your children want to know. Listen, I am excited about this also because today, Heather, can you believe this? I was talking to some young people. And I said, I'm just going to see what's really going on. So I went to them. I said, how many of you guys, it was like 10 of them. I said, how many of you all know about Nat Turner? And they were all African-American. Not one. And I'm telling you, it broke my heart. Not one knew that story. Is that surprising? Is that surprising?
No, it does not. Nope. We got a lot of kids roaming the schools and don't have a clue about who they're connected to or what history they need to know. What did you tell them his history?
I did briefly, and they were just like, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. And I'm
Wow.
like, do you guys have a desire to know your Black history? And they're like, with everything going on, Miss Ella, like, why? Why does it matter? It's not going to affect us today. It's
But
not
it
going to affect.
is.
Yeah, no, it's not going to affect. But I like how raw they are. That's what we need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we grown-ups need to hear so that we can be like, okay, well, what do we need to do? Let's pull this back and see. We need to find a way to educate our children, because when you see people running for office and they look like me and you, they're running for that office without a clue what happened before. Like, this is why I think it's so important for us to bring shows, Heather, where like the other night we talked about Birth of a Nation and how that movie was actually shown at the White House, because we have so much reverence for the White House, but it hasn't always been a place. I mean, this is why history is important, because you'll understand why we celebrate Juneteenth. You'll understand why 4th of July isn't our Independence Day. You'll understand how Black people were seen on July 2nd when they signed the Declaration. And now we celebrate 4th of July. You'll understand all of that if you know your history. That's also one I think we need to talk about that one too, Heather. Why is it that we celebrate 4th of July? I mean, celebrate Juneteenth instead of 4th of July. I'm sure if they don't know about Nat Turner, a lot of people probably don't know about that one either.
Yes, but for true.
What should we do differently though, Heather? Like, real talk. What should we do differently? Because I don't mind doing it, whatever, because I want my platform to be a place that's used for that benefit. What can we do more of, do you think?
I think we've got to get out awareness that our children lack education about themselves first. And then I think that we need to at least, maybe do something as simple as going to churches and training them that part of Bible study needs to have a piece of Black history be a part of that, and or even a Saturday where once a month they're coming in to learn something about history, Black history, in
Yeah.
communities, setting
Do
up.
do you do you guys do anything like that at your church?
No. And we do have a lady that does Black History Saturdays. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a lady that does that here. Um, but I just don't think people participate like they probably need to. And I think some of that is promoting it in these churches and schools. And right now, Tulsa's in a good position because we have a Black mayor and we have a Black school superintendent, and they're interested in helping get Black history out there. So that's a positive for us.
Well, if you're watching from YouTube, do me a favor and subscribe to the Ella Johnson Show. If you like the content, you're enjoying this Black History Month, we want to know about it. So if you would do me a favor, please just send a message tonight in the show, in the comments, share the broadcast. I don't want you guys to share it if you're not enjoying it. If you really are enjoying it and you really are getting something out of it, please do me a favor and share the broadcast so that we can spread the word and get more people engaged. Now, tonight, Heather, we're going to talk about the stuff that our people have invented. They didn't always get credit for it, some did. We're going to explore all of that. And we're going to just do a little recap also on the other shows, wrap up some things that maybe we want to say tonight that we didn't get to say then. But here's my message for tonight. I need you to stop looking at the brand on your phone. Stop looking at the logo on your car. Okay. Those names didn't build the world you live in. I'll tell you what they did. They just bought the rights to it for pennies on the dollar, while the real creators simply died in the shadows. Tonight, we aren't doing Black History Month fluff. We aren't here for the watered down versions of the dream. We are here to talk about the trillions of dollars built on the backs of Black men and women who were legally barred from owning their home mines. It's real. We're talking about Benjamin Montgomery, whose invention helped build the South, but was told his hands couldn't sign a patent because they were property. Ain't that something? Oh,
That's
but
crazy.
here we're talking about Mary Kenner, whose genius was rejected for 30 years the moment they saw her face. And we're talking about General Electric, IBM, and Thermo King, empires built on foundations they didn't lay. Okay. They say knowledge is power. Is it? Because in America, knowledge without a patent is just free labor.
Yeah.
But you guys to join the conversation. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Listen, I don't know how it was for you, Heather, when you did your research to find out certain inventions, but for me, they just keep coming. I'm just like, what? No, what? And we can't do them all here. So we Heather and I, we just picked out ones that we wanted to talk about. Now, in honor of Gladys West, y'all know she's the GPS, the real GPS founder. And we're going to show us a video. It's only like 6 minutes, y'all. Y'all can stay with the 6 minutes. We're not going to do it right now. But tonight's broadcast is in her memory. Why? Because she just recently passed, and she is someone that you want to hear her story. I saw it today and I said, this is a sermon. This is a message to our young people. This is a message to our old complacent people. And I think it's good to hear her voice, right? I could sit here and Heather, we could sit here and talk about her, but I want her to tell y'all what she was thinking. So we're gonna start with you, Heather. I wanna hear a little bit more about who you got. Oh, and I also, guys, before you get started, Heather, I also dropped in the comments tonight a link to a video that I also want you guys to watch. Now it was too long, but I did want you to watch that. Hello, Ann. How are you, dear? Love you. Thanks for watching. Okay,
Mhm.
Heather.
Okay, one of mine was Nathan Nearest Green. He was a slave, and he was a Black man that taught Jack Daniels the art of the liquor Jack Daniels that everybody knows. That's
Okay.
actually was created by a man named Nathan Green, and they called him Nearest. He was the one that taught how to distill Tennessee whiskey.
Ooh.
And they took the patent. When you're talking about patents, he couldn't sell it and get the acknowledgement of it. I guess because of his hands is what. But he was the master of distillery, and so he was the one that created Jack Daniels, that made Jack Daniels liquor all the money that everybody spends buying it.
Do you think that that matters to us that we have? I mean, it's prideful to know. Yeah, we are proud of them. Yeah, that's great, awesome. But what do you feel inside knowing that these people spent their entire life watching somebody else get paid for something that they did?
It's heartbreaking. You know, you think about that movie Imitation of Life, when the pancakes was famous in that movie, the black and white version of it. I mean, that hurts to know that this lady stayed a woman cooking and cleaning, and that was her recipe that got this lady famous and made all the money that she made. That's heartbreaking. And then you don't know what to do and how to make something happen for yourself behind that. That's heartbreaking.
I bet. That's why I hope that we pay more attention to, don't just, because I know we have a tendency sometimes, like, hey man, what do you think I should do about ABCD? Because I have somebody from Monroeville that told me they came up with the idea of, you know how you have the not the sippy cup, the Stanley cups, those kind
Uh-huh.
of things. That he actually did that from a class project and sent it, and he was supposed to travel to New York, didn't go. I wish he was here tonight to tell that story, but he's from my hometown. I wasn't surprised because that sounds very similar to a lot of the stories tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who else? Who else you got?
I got Lael Alexander. He's actually out of Louisiana. He was born and raised in Louisiana. Ended up being really smart, moved overseas, well, lived in China for like 20 something years. Just recently, I think in the last 2 years, moved back to the United States. But he is famous and invented, it's called Maracast. And it's, godly, I wrote it down because I am not going to remember that. Consumer electronics products. So what he did was, when you share your screen on your
Mm-hmm.
phone or on the TV, he's the inventor of that. His name is Lael Alexander, and when he moved back from China, he moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and his business, his company is actually in the Greenwood district.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
so he's
nice.
an inventor. He just I think he just sold a bunch of products for over $1 billion. So he's a billionaire now.
Oh, nice. Well, see, this is what I'm talking about. Some people did get theirs. So
Mm-hmm.
that's good. That's good. And he's still alive?
Yeah.
Well, thank
Yep.
God he's able to
He's
enjoy it.
young. I think he's in his early 50s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a young guy,
Okay.
but he
Okay.
is an inventor. Are we supposed to look up we just inventors, or were we supposed to look up just ones that never got there?
No, no, no.
No.
Anybody. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But it is important to know both. It's important to know that yes, we did contribute. And the reason this is so important is because we won't know this unless we look for it.
Yeah.
When you were going to school, do you ever remember hearing anything about blacks inventing anything?
Very little.
I didn't hear about
Very
any of
little.
it. I
Very,
maybe,
very little.
yeah, and I mean, I think that did a disservice, you know. And then you have people now spreading this narrative that, oh, it would just, if we did critical race theory, it would just damage the white kids. Well, imagine
Hmm.
what happened to black kids their whole lives. Just imagine.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was a
Yes.
day. Let me just be real. There was a day when there was a child that was innocent, like your child, and he just wanted to be a kid. But he woke up every day and had to pick cotton. And not only did he have to pick cotton, but there may have come a time where he saw his father get raped by these slave owners. Oh, yeah, the men were getting raped out there too. Or
Hmm.
his mom getting raped. Better yet, his pregnant mom getting hung by a tree, hung on a tree, and they cut her baby out of it. I know that's graphic, but it's real.
Yeah.
So miss me with this worrying about their feelings. They'll be all right if you explain to them the right way.
Yep.
I'm not trying to traumatize kids, Heather. That's not what we're trying to do. But they need to know, because what
Tell the
happens is
truth.
they grow up thinking that they're superior.
Yep. So true. You need to know the good and the bad of all your sides of your
That's
life.
right.
I mean, the people in your life or in your past.
And I mean, and we want to, for the record, say that we're not trying to teach hate here. That's not that's not what this is. I'm not going to apologize for celebrating my Black history. I'm not going to ever apologize for that. So if I mean, we should be excited that there are shows and broadcasts that want to talk about it. And I welcome anybody that's Caucasian. This is for you just as much as it is for us, because I don't know about anyone else. So I'm going to speak for me. I am not sitting here mad at white people. Okay, that's not what this is, because you don't know your history any more than I knew mine. So this is good for both of us. Now, what I do expect is that once you do know, own it.
Exactly.
Own it. Own the knowledge. Not own it that you're going to walk around feeling bad, but own it when you're put in a space where you can speak up for truth, especially now that you know it. That's all. Who else you
Yep.
got?
I got Taylor. She's 17 years old, or she was 17 when she invented this. She developed the biodegradable color changing sutures that turn from white to beet red to indicate if a surgical wound is infected. So
That is in that
she's
is
on doctor
nice.
level. Yeah.
She's
So
how old?
she was 17 when she invented it.
Oh,
Yep.
see, that's what
Deja
I'm talking.
Taylor. Then I found a guy by the name of David Price. He was 18. He invented a safety pouch designed to make traffic stops safer for people of color by keeping identification and registration visible and accessible, so that if they get pulled over, they didn't have to reach.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so
Yes.
then we have another little girl. Her name is Jayanne Patton. She's 14. She created a website and an app to help children easily connect to their with their incarcerated parents. So she
Oh,
created a app for them to have contact with each other.
oh, that is really nice.
Hmm.
I wonder how they come up with this stuff, you know?
I do not know some of this stuff. I'm like, how did you even think that you could even do stuff that they do?
It's called raw talent.
Yeah,
Raw. Yeah. Working with we know how to work with leaves and create something. Or I
yeah.
mean, it's just it's a gift. It's a gift. I love it. I love it. Who else you got?
Now, I have I looked up one, and this one I don't think too much is an invention, but I thought it was kind of interesting because I knew about it. I'm a Pepsi fanatic, and I know that, like, I remember talking to a guy that worked for Coke, and he was like, God, it is so hard to break people in Oklahoma into drinking Coca-Cola. And we're Pepsi fans. Well, one thing that Pepsi did, because they're in back in 1947, I think they had really been struggling with selling Pepsi. Coke was beating them like three drinks for their one, and they hired, I think it was 12 black men to go into the black community, and they flipped Pepsi's um, products in the black community, and so that's why it's so hard for people Coca-Cola to get into black communities. So,
Really?
yeah. So Pepsi, uh, if you notice, Pepsi sells a lot of, I mean, some of their ads, like McDonald's, some of their ads are big in black communities because black people actually pulled them out of going into debt.
Really?
Yeah, and it was all based off of a guy named what was his name? Edward Boyd. He led 12 black men around the country to be able to they found another way to market to the black community.
I love it.
So
Wow. So are you a Coke or a Pepsi fan?
Pepsi, you can't go in my house and mess up no Pepsi. You'll get beat up.
Really?
Oh
Because
God.
I don't really like sodas, to be honest. Hello there. Great evening. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. If you're just tuning into the Ella Johnson Show tonight, we're talking about Black inventions, some of which they didn't get credit for. And you're going to hear at the end of the show how much money these companies are now generating that we lost out on. So, but that's good. You got some more? Those are interesting.
Yeah, I got Mark Dean. He co-invented technology for color PC monitors, making visual computing accessible. So he created the color PC models that we see nowadays that have
Nice,
color, which is most everything nowadays.
nice, nice.
And
I
then
love
a
it.
folding cabinet bed was Sarah Goods in 1885. There was a patent for a space-saving bed that folded into a cabinet. Those are like those, what do you call those, efficiency apartments? And they have the folding bed.
Studios.
A black lady created that,
Oh,
invented
nice.
that.
Oh, you mean like the let out the we call it the let out bed. The
Yeah, the fold out.
folder, yeah.
Yeah, a
Girl,
black
go there,
lady
get that
invented
let out bed and go to sleep.
that.
Told you I was
Oh.
country.
And then
Oh,
Super Soaker, you've heard of those? The guns, the water guns?
no.
Lonnie Johnson, he created that I remember babysitting these rich white kids, and at that time black kids really couldn't afford those super soakers. They were expensive. These super soakers were invented by a black guy by the name of Lonnie Johnson. It was a high-powered water gun which revolutionized backyard fun and became a popular toy, and I remember that. I
Wow.
remember that. So he made lots of money. And then I don't know if you're doing this one, but this is a common one. The gas mask by
Yeah.
Garrett Morgan.
Yeah, I have
He-
that one on my list.
okay, I'll let you take over that one. And then blood bank methods. Do you have that one?
Uh-uh.
That's Dr. Charles Drew. He developed methods for blood plasma storage, saving
Mm,
countless lives during World War II and improving blood banking.
interesting. Wow. I'm telling you guys, I told you this, we could go on and on for days because there are so many accomplishments that blacks contributed. I think Charles Drew were in our books growing up in school, I think. If I'm not
Oh, was
mistaken.
he?
I think so. I think so. I think Charles Drew was. And of course, we always hear about Martin Luther King and maybe Malcolm. But there's a lot more to us than that. So I'm gonna get started on some here.
Okay.
All right, guys. So here, check this out. I wanted to put mine together so you guys can see some pictures. Because y'all know how we like to see. Let me go all the way back. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sure you can. Oops, I guess not. Let me go all the way back. I have a few that we're going to talk about. I should have had this at the beginning. First guy, Benjamin Montgomery. Okay, he was a master mechanic. In the 1850s, he designed a specialized steamboat propeller with angled blades that allow boats to navigate shallow waters without getting stuck in the mud. Okay. Now, his patent office rejected his application in 1858, saying that he couldn't enter into a legal contract with the government. His owner, who was Joseph Davis, tried to patent it in his own name, but the office rejected him too, stating, listen, bro, that was you're not the actual inventor. Ain't that something? Now
Mm-hmm.
that's the first time I've actually heard someone got rejected because they knew he wasn't the original. Imagine if all of them had done that. Now that's integrity right there. But he didn't get to own it either. So it was eventually used by the very people who denied him the right to own it. Isn't that something?
Wow.
Then the next person I got on my list is Mary Kenner. Mary Kenner, she holds the record for the most patents held by a black woman, but she was ignored for 30 years, y'all. Her most famous invention, the sanitary belt, it turned into like what we know as the maxi pad. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah. So here, I think I want to do this. I want to make it where, see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, let's do it like that. So you guys can actually see the full picture. Isn't she beautiful? When I saw
Hmm.
this first, I was like, she don't look, but she's beautiful. I was like, is this? I had to look. She almost didn't. But anyway, yay. I wish I had a drum roll here. I'm like, da-da-da, hand clap. I do, but I can't do that. Do this too. Norbert Rio, he revolutionized sugar. Yeah, he did that with sugar. Sugar was refined by the Jamaica train method, where enslaved people had to manually ladle boiling sugar juice from one open pot to another. It was slow, dangerous, and expensive. So in 1843, this guy was like, he invented the multiple effect evaporator. It used a vacuum to boil sugar at lower temperatures, recycling the steam to save the fuel. This is one of the greatest inventions in the history of chemical engineering. Awesome. Great job. Great job, buddy. Who else we
Hmm.
have? Oh, this is Mr. Lewis Latimer. Y'all know this guy. He's the light bulb dude. Y'all remember we've been hearing about, oh, blacks invented the light. Well, here he is, Lewis Latimer. Um, Now, actually, while Edison is famous for the light bulb, his early versions used paper filaments that burnt out in minutes. Okay. But Latimer, the son of formerly enslaved people, invented and patented the carbon filament in 1881. This innovation made the light bulb long lasting and affordable for the average home. Way to go. He also drafted the drawings for Alexander Graham Bell's telephone. Isn't that something? Now, why in the
Wow.
world did he have to do the drawings for Alexander Graham Bell?
Because
All
he
in time.
didn't. Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah. Everything you just thought. Next, we got Miss Alice Ball. Miss Alice Ball, she is up next at age 23. She was a chemist and she developed the first truly effective injectable treatment for leprosy, y'all.
Oh,
She
wow.
died tragically young before she could publish her findings. But
I
after her
remember
death,
this.
oh, do you remember?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
After her death, the president of the University of Hawaii, Arthur Dean, published her work as his own, calling it
Yes.
the gene method. Uh-huh.
She eventually
It,
got credit for it, didn't she?
it took decades for the name to be
Yeah.
restored to the discovery. She did,
Yes.
but it took decades for that to happen.
I just read about her probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I mean, it was a long read, but it was interesting.
Yeah. Then the next person we have here, we got Marie Van Britten Brown. 1966, she was a nurse, okay? And she invented the first home security system featuring a motorized camera, a monitor, and a two-way microphone. While she holds the patent, her name was often left out of the history of smart home tech for years, even though her invention is the direct blueprint for modern systems like the Ring or the Nest. So when you guys are using your Ring and you're seeing how it's great and how people are taking advantage of it, it all kind of started with this lady right here. Way to go, Marie. Isn't that something? Then next we got the ironing board lady. Look at this. Miss Sarah Boone. Now people have been using like wooden planks that were resting on chairs to iron their clothes for a long time. She came out with this in 1892. Because before her ironing boards were very wide, rectangular, and made it kind of impossible to iron sleeves or curve. Y'all know how we need that
Hmm.
shape to be able to get those shirts and get it just right. Well, she came up with this, and that's why we give her credit for the ironing board. So she came up with that. Way to go, Sarah. Awesome. Next, we have Mr. Sampson. Ooh, Where's my list? Where is Mr. Sampson? Don't tell me I went out of order.
He's up on
Okay.
the screen.
Yeah, I know, but oh, here he is. Mr. Sampson. Now, before Mr. Sampson, drying meant hanging your clothes near a fire. How many people remember that? Hello. If it wasn't near a fire, we had to open up that oven and okay. And but hanging clothes meant putting them near a fire, which was dangerous and made clothes smell like soot, right? So in 1892, he patented the first automatic clothes dryer. Yes, it used a rack placed over a head source with a series of vents to keep the clothes from catching fire. His design paved the way for the modern dryer that you have now. Amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now look at this beautiful woman. You see that dress? Guess whose dress
Uh-huh.
that is? Jackie Kennedy. A black woman designed this for her. Her name is Ann Lowe. This is one of the most significant examples of a black innovation's work being historically sidelined. And it's the design of Jacqueline Kennedy's wedding dress. She did that, right? So let's talk a little bit about her. Now, while Jackie is one of the greatest fashion icons in history, the woman behind her most famous gown, Anne Lowe, was almost completely erased from the narrative for decades. Now, this wedding gown, taffeta, she wore it to marry John F. Kennedy. Amazing. Imagine that, right? She created the gown that this woman wore on her wedding day to the president of the United States, a black woman. When Jackie was asked who made the dress, now this was trifling. She repeatedly replied that it was made by a colored woman. Lowe was not acknowledged by name in the press until the mid 1960s.
I
She
wonder
just
what
couldn't
she
see
told to
women.
do that.
I'm pretty sure, but that was trifling. Okay.
That is, I don't know how she did it, but I kind of researched Jackie Kennedy. She made an effort to put her kids in schools that had black children in it. So that's why I'm like, I wonder was she forced to say that?
Well, I mean, she was a colored woman. That's how we were referred to. But I mean, give her a name.
Yeah.
Give her some dignity with it. She worked hard on it, and and it was
And she was
beautiful.
more than a colored woman. She did your
Exactly.
dress.
I know, like, but we have to understand too, guys, that white people were scared back then as well
Yeah. That's why I'm
because they
thinking she
wanted
might be.
to support us, but they would get punished for it. You know.
Mm.
So we're gonna move to our next person, Garrett Morgan. This is Mister Traffic, three light traffic signal. Um, Before him, traffic signals only had stop and go, red and green, y'all. This created so many accidents as cars had no warning to slow down. Did y'all know that? Now, after witnessing a horrific carriage accident, Morgan patented the three position traffic signal in 1923, adding the caution light. Way to go. Isn't that
Hmm.
something?
That
All
means
right.
you're a critical thinker.
That's right. So that's right. Absolutely. Then we got Frederick McKinley Jones. This is the Thermo King. Now, Jones was self taught. He was a self taught mechanical genius. 1938, he designed a portable air cooling unit for trucks carrying perishable food. Before his refrigerated transport just meant packing trucks with literal blocks of ice. All right. We're gonna speed up. Then we got Patricia Bath. She invented the laser phaco probe, a device that is used for lasers to quickly and painlessly dissolve cataracts, and irrigate the eye. She was the first black woman doctor to receive a medical patent. Way to go, way to go. That's what I'm talking about. Despite her invention being a global standard that restored sight to people who had been blind for decades, she often had to fight for recognition in a male dominated field that frequently sidelined her contributions. Nothing new there. Always having to fight, but look at what she did. Awesome. Beautiful. Love it. Next person we have is Alexander Miles. This is the guy who's known for elevator doors. Y'all remember the elevator company? They're the ones that got credit. Y'all know every time you get on an elevator and you see Otis somewhere on there, that's who took credit for it. But this is the guy right here. In the 1880s, the elevator doors had to be closed manually by a dedicated operator. If the operator forgot, people would frequently fall down the open shafts. This guy, Alexander Miles, invented a mechanism that automatically opened and closed both the elevator cage and the shaft doors. Amazing. Now, of course, Otis companies became synonymous with the elevator. The fundamental safety feature we use every single day, that automatic door, this man right here. Awesome. Have you guys heard of the real McCoy?
Yep.
When y'all hear the real McCoy, this is what they're talking about right here, Elijah McCoy. He is an engine lubricator. Okay. Now, back then, trains used to have to stop constantly to be oiled by hand. McCoy invented an automatic lubricator that oiled engines while they were still moving. Look at that. I wonder how he tested that. I'm curious, right? I'm sure he's got some scars for that one. His invention was so superior that engineers would inspect a new engine and ask, is this the real McCoy? That's where that saying comes from.
Wow.
To ensure that it wasn't a cheap, white labeled knockoff. While the phrase survived, the man behind the machine was often forgotten by the general public. So when you hear, is this the real McCoy? That's where that comes from, guys. Then, of course, we got this man right here. He performed the first successful open heart surgery in history. Let me say that again. He performed the first successful open heart surgery in history. Here's where it got real. A patient had been stabbed in the chest, and Williams opened the chest cavity without the benefit of modern anesthesia or antibiotics to suture. Ooh, yeah, girl, that just hurt. Yeah, without anesthesia. Now, because he was black, his achievement was often downplayed as a fluke, of course, or ignored by major medical journals of the time. Additionally, the Vivian Thomas story, often confused with this, is another example. We're going to talk about him too. Thomas was a black lab technician who actually developed the procedure to save blue babies in the 1940s. But his white supervisor, Dr. Alfred Blaylock, received credit for decades, while Thomas was classified as a janitor in payroll. Ain't that something? Next, there's your guy. You talked about him too, Mark Dean, IBM. Yeah. So you've already talked about him, but if you're using a computer with a color monitor or plugging in a mouse or keyboard, you are using Mark Dean's inventions. He holds 3 of the original 9 patents for the first IBM personal computer. Yes, love it. Now, I want to talk about this story right here, guys. This is the Levi's story. The invention of blue jeans is a fascinating example of how history often highlights the person with the money and the business license, while the person who actually innovated the product and the potential influence of black laborers gets pushed to the footnotes. Now, usually the story goes like this. Levi Strauss was a dry goods merchant in San Francisco, and Jacob Davis, a white tailor, came up with the idea to use copper rivets to reinforce the stress points of work pants, right? They patented that idea together in 1873. Now, the hidden narrative is that while there isn't one specific black name listed on the Levi Strauss patent, historians point to 2 major areas where black invention was borrowed. The indigo, the blue in the blue jeans comes from indigo. Now, before it was a massive industry for white plantation owners, the knowledge of how to cultivate, ferment, and dye fabric with indigo was a highly specialized skill brought to the Americans by enslaved West Africans. So that idea of being able to come up with that color, that came from West Africans. Oof. People from regions like Sierra Leone and Liberia had been master indigo dyers for centuries. Always talking about Africa, right? But look at this. Love it. So yeah, this is planters in South Carolina became incredibly wealthy off indigo, but the technical botanical knowledge and the chemistry of the dye process belonged to the enslaved people who actually made the blue possible.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. James West. We're almost done, guys. Y'all stay with us. We're giving some good stuff for you tonight. He came up with the microphone, the electric microphone. Okay. A lot of hardware manufacturers are the one that got credit for it. But in 1962, West co-developed the foil electric microphone. Before this, microphones were massive, expensive, and required huge batteries. Now, today, 90% of all microphones, iPhones, Androids, hearing aids, and professional recording gear use West technology. And your phone, if your phone fits in your pocket and you can hear your voice clearly, it's because of this guy right here. Real talk. Video game cartridges. This guy right here. Whew. Never mind. This is Shirley Jackson. I'm not at that guy yet. Shirley Jackson. All right. Dr. Jackson was the first Black woman to earn a PhD from MIT. Her theoretical physics research at Bell Labs in the 70s and 80s laid the groundwork for caller ID, call waiting, and the fiber optic cables that carry our internet data today. Wow, Dr. Shirley. First Black woman to earn a doctorate degree. Man, listen, and people talking about we're inferior, miss me with that. Next, we got Mr. Lawson. All right, Mr. Jerry. Jerry, before him, video games were built into the hardware. You could only play the one game the console came with. He invented the removable game cartridge. He essentially created the entire business model for modern gaming, the ability to buy separate software. He also gave us the pause button, right? I would love to be able to interview him and say, what made you think we needed a pause? Like, where did that, it's like practical things. You're like, I wonder what, and you guys got some of these ideas in your heart and in your mind too. I'm telling you, it's a natural. I think it's a napkin. We're almost done. Then we got Mr. Vivian Thomas. I told you guys we were going to talk about him. Now, you see this picture on the left, guys? This man was a janitor. He was a janitor first, but he was a laboratory supervisor who developed the complex surgical techniques used to treat blue baby syndrome. Now, he didn't have a medical degree, but he did work, he did the work of a surgeon. I want y'all to pay attention to that. He did not have a medical degree, but he knew how to work like them, right? He knew how to work like them. His white partner, Dr. Alfred Blaylock, took the credit and the awards for decades, guys. Thomas was famously pictured as a janitor in institutional photos for years before his portrait was finally hung in the halls of Johns Hopkins.
Wow.
You see there, that reminds me of, how we'll talk about it in a second, but that reminds me of how they always want to portray us. Like when they do the news, you always see a mugshot of a Black person, but you see a high school graduation or something positive when they're white. I just had to put my 2 cents on that. Y'all know I'm right. So that's pretty much it. And then, of course, we got Miss Gladys West here. We're going to watch her video, but we're not going to do it right now. But we are going to talk a little bit more. But I do want to show her video because she just recently passed away. And this show tonight is in her honor. So I want you guys to stay tuned for that one. So what'd you think about all those?
We are smart people, that's for doggone sure. And we're doing it out of becoming creators out of nowhere, inventors out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think people are going to be surprised when they see this. This is something that I really wanted to show as well. I want y'all to take a look at this. This is the profit shift table. Now you see how we have those original inventions over there, and then you see the inventor, and then you see the corporate beneficiary, meaning these are the people that's thriving today off their inventions. And then I want you to look at that last column where it says the industry value today. So imagine if that wealth flowed the right way, the way it was supposed to flow. Which one sticks out to you, Heather?
The 250 billion, the voicemail caller ID at AT&T.
That's all Dr. Shirley Jackson in the
Mm-hmm.
house. That's all her. Atari, Nintendo, and Sony. 200 billion plus the
Oh, look
gaming
at the 600. Wow.
yeah, the auto industry. Ford, GM, Richard Spikes. That's one we should have done. I didn't notice that one. Should have done him. I wish we could have done him. But look at that, $600 billion. So the next time people want to try to make you feel like you're lazy, and guys, I'm going to share a personal story that I had one time where I went to this job, and this is real talk, Heather, and they said it to my face. I was like, well, dang. We're very good friends today. So I didn't, obviously I got over it. She did too. But she said, Ella, the reason I was just so skeptical of you coming here in leadership is because I always felt that Black people were lazy. And I felt that you would just be another one coming here to just ride the clock. And I'm just sitting here. So I didn't get mad at her. I'm going to show you what I did. I proved her wrong. And you know what she did to me? And this is because let me tell you, I was the assistant manager. She was the manager. And she was moving up from assistant. And then I was coming in to be assistant under her. When she saw my dedication and my ideas, she's like, wait a minute, this lady ain't new to this. She knows this stuff. You know what she did? Real talk, real story, true story. She said, you deserve this. You deserve to be manager. I'll stay where I am. And that's how I
Wow.
became manager at that property. Real talk. She and I are still friends. She's the manager now because I moved on and became a regional and all that kind of stuff. But that's a true story. I didn't get angry at her and cuss her out. I had to go home and pray about it. But I was able to go back to work the next day and prove that I'm not what you think. Stop listening to those narratives that people have placed on us that we're lazy or we're trifling or we don't want to work, we don't like to work. That's not true. Do you think that, Heather, that we've changed much from that stereotype?
No, we haven't. I hear it a lot. Indirectly, they don't just come right out and say it, but you can tell by the words that they use, they're trying to say we're lazy. And the crazy thing that always bothers me about it is there's nothing about our history that ever said we were lazy. Nothing about our history says that. Now, there's a lot that says that about them. They sat on porches while we were out figuring out how to pick cotton better, meaning the cotton gin. I mean,
Ooh,
that stuff came because we were exposed to doing the work. So we don't come from lazy people.
that's true. Yeah, we're very hardworking. I think the Mexicans are like that too. They're just
Yeah, they
naturally
are.
very hardworking. One thing I like about them, their characteristic, they know how to work together. They're
Mm-hmm.
not vain. They're not trying to look like they're wealthy. They're just
Yeah.
trying to survive, you
They
know?
like nice things and they're gonna work for what they with the nice
That's
things they
right.
want.
You know what somebody told me? I think it was my friend Crystal. Y'all know Crystal. She's always on the show. She said something that I thought was so profound. She said, "While we're out here trying to, we're how did she put it? Let me get it right. Help me, Holy Ghost." She said, "White people, black people out here trying. White people out here getting wealth, but
And
black
we're
people out here
looking like it.
look like we get wealth. That
Yes.
we're wealthy. Yeah, they're out here getting wealthy, and we out here trying to look like we getting wealthy." And I was
Getting what?
like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, wow, I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, we do.
I see you, Brian. Thank you so much for tuning in, my friend. He said, there are so many African American people who have contributed to the advancement of our civilization. Yes, Brian, that's so true. Did you mention the African American women that were instrumental to the space program? Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's tomorrow
NASA
night, my
also.
friend. That is tomorrow night. You all over it, Brian. I'm telling you. You're all over it. But yes, we can't talk about women of Black history without talking about them. So that's tomorrow night. We'll talk about those ladies. Good question. The movie Hidden Figures, that's where that's coming from. Yeah. That's why I came up with this title tonight, Hidden Figures, because it's very similar to that, in that we are bringing people to you that were hidden, because a lot of y'all didn't know. A lot of them I didn't know. I want to show y'all some takeaways here for what we came up with. Garrett Morgan, the flat fee trap. Many inventors like Gary Morgan were forced to sell their patents early because they lacked the capital to manufacture the products themselves. This resulted in a one-time payment for the inventor and infinite growth for the company, GE.
Wow.
40,000. Wow. The foundation effect. Scientists like Dr. Gladys West, the GPS, and Shirley Jackson provided the infrastructure for modern tech. Without their math and physics, companies like Apple, Google, and Amazon would have no platform to operate on. Oh, look at that. Historical studies from Brookings show that between 1870 and 1940, Black inventors in the North were patenting at the same rate as white inventors per capita, but they were significantly less likely to be able to turn those patents into a business due to lack of bank loans. Redlining. Now that's a subject. That's a subject we haven't covered on the show yet. Y'all, that was real, because there was a time when Black people weren't being able to get those loans. That's the time is still here. Weren't able to get those loans, trying to make sure you did not have or live that American dream. And they were not successful in all ways, but that was always the plan. Now you have to think about it. What is it about you, us, that they were so intimidated that they didn't want you to own certain places? You can't live certain places. We don't want you in our neighborhoods. We don't want you being able to have property. So we're going to steal it. We're going to force you off the land. Because imagine if somebody comes and burns a cross in your yard, are you likely to stay there? Or are you going to get up in the middle of the night, try to get out of
there? Get up.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And they knew that. And that's why they did it. So that when you leave, they have all these other ways to be able to take your land. So when people say that they started out front, it's not because they earned it. It's because they took it. And that's the difference. You take somebody did this study one time. I wish I had the video. They did a study where they said, close your eyes. And they said, if you've lived in blah, 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 take a step forward. If you've been able to do this, take a step forward. Did you see that?
Yes, and I have seen that.
Your eyes. Now look at where you are and look at where the Black kids are. You started out up front. And you're still trying to keep them back there. And that's not my opinion. That's history.
Yep.
That's history. Well, guys, we're not going to be here long tonight. Do you have something else before we watch? Because I really, really do want you guys to see this video, because, she's the one that we're honoring tonight because of her accomplishments with GPS. Because y'all, do you use GPS?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I would be lost. I would still be lost if it were not for GPS. I use GPS right around here in Orlando. Okay. I am so directionally just traumatized, I think, because I'm always getting lost. So yes, we appreciate her. We honor her tonight. And we're going to show this video. Anything you want to say before it's 6 minutes long, guys. It's a very good video. You're going to get to hear directly from her. They interviewed her. Like I said, she passed away, I think last month. So you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's watch it. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Wait a minute. That's not what I want to see. There's the video. All right, let's take a look.
Jet airliners, providing directions to a new restaurant, or geotagging your social media pictures. Few imagine the impact GPS would have on modern society. including 88-year-old Gladys
Oh,
West.
she's beautiful.
I never would have thought that I could sit in a car and,
88 years
it
old.
says, turn left, turn right. No.
For 42 years, Gladys was employed by the U.S. Navy. As a mathematician, she would help lay the groundwork for many of the government's orbital satellite projects. That includes what became the Global Positioning System, or what we call GPS.
We didn't do all the GPS stuff that's for the car and all. We didn't actually do that. But what we did was got the accuracy of where things were located all around the world and stuff in its database.
Born in 1930, Gladys grew up on her family's farm just south of Richmond, Virginia, where she learned the value of hard work. And that would pay off for Gladys, who wanted more than what life on a country farm could offer.
You could get a scholarship if you were the first or second in your high school graduating class. So right off, I was Johnny on the spot, doing all my work all the time.
She finished at the top of her high school class, earning her a full scholarship to what was then called Virginia State College, a historically Black school in Petersburg, Virginia.
The teachers were encouraging me to major in math because they thought that I would be good.
Again, Gladys finished at the top of her class and went on to complete her master's. In 1956, she accepted a job at the Naval Support Facility in Dahlgren, Virginia. The space race was just taking off, and computers were the wave of the future.
It was really an excitement, They promised us that they would teach us, how to communicate with this computer and all this stuff, So, knowing me, I was ready to, to work hard with it.
And work hard she did. With the success of the space program, NASA was beginning to place satellites into orbit. Gladys was tasked to help write and program code needed to process the enormous amount of data coming in.
You have a long equation in there, certain coefficients that go along with each term. You have to generate them, get them accurate and all. Our program encoded all those equations, and we checked them out by hand cases and all. And they were passed on to the next level.
The work was long and tedious. Every equation checked and rechecked for accuracy.
You didn't want to cause anybody else any holdups or any trouble about something that you had done that prevented them from making progress. So you want to have to make sure that they could depend on anything that you sent.
It was this tenacity and dedication that drew the attention of fellow mathematician Ira West. The two dated for 18 months before getting married in 1957.
She wasn't an easy catch, Let me tell you, I had to work hard for that.
I always think of Ira.
That's right.
I always tell me, I said, he played more than I did.
Meanwhile, the civil rights movement was sweeping the country. Gladys and Ira wanted to show their support, but government employees weren't allowed to participate in public demonstrations. So the couple decided the best way to help was to change perceptions and work even harder.
We just were pushing. We couldn't participate directly, but indirectly in the situation.
That was another reason why I felt that I always had to be my best. And I always had to be a role model.
In the years that followed, they both continued their work for the Navy on numerous projects. In 1978, Gladys received a commendation for her work and was promoted to project manager of the CSAT radar altimetry project, the first satellite that could collect data across the ocean's surface.
It was always interesting. We were working with people and doing something that was important and that's going to be used by the government and all. You got to make sure you're doing everything right because you're part of this big thing that's happening.
As she always had, Gladys stayed true to herself, striving to be defined by her competence and not by the color of her skin.
I think I was most happy when I got to the point that I could be independent and I could troubleshoot big programs and be a help to the analysts who had helped to generate the program. When I could talk to them, so sort of like be a part and understand. I think that was the best feeling I had.
Even after retiring in 1998, Gladys stayed busy, completing her PhD in philosophy and writing her memoirs. For all of her accomplishments, commendations, and recognition she has received over her career, Gladys understands there is only one who she can credit for the direction her life has taken.
I think everybody should have God in their lives so they understand. And I can just about see the complete circle. And I can go back and I can look and see what he did and where he put me and where all along. And I was thinking, it's just amazing that I didn't understand at the time exactly what was happening, but he was there and he was doing it.
Wow. I think that every person alive should show that video to their kids. The STEM program is so important. It's not just about sports, guys. I mean, yes, there are some kids that are out there that are gifted. Education is so, I mean, I'm inspired watching these people. I mean, this show has been progressively showing you our culture, our history, right? We're not, I know, hope you guys didn't think we were going to talk about slavery 30 days, 29, however many days in this month.
Well, more
Who
than
can,
that.
yeah, who can stand that, right?
Yeah.
It happened, but so did this. And I salute anyone that's not afraid to dream. What do you think it is, Heather, before we get out of here? What do you think it is that holds us back from being able to accomplish certain things?
I don't think we have a value for education like we once had. And I think that parents don't spend enough time paying attention to their children's interests to recognize when maybe a child is an inventor. And I'll give you a good example. My little brother, I remember one time, remember those plastic cars, those model cars boys used to make?
Yeah. Yeah.
My brother, he was about 8 years old. We were in the living room watching TV, and he used to build those model cars. And I just happened to look down. He was on the floor with one of the model cars, and he had taken that plastic car, and he had like I can't remember, some little notch that he was using to push it. And I noticed that the car was going up and down. He had created a thing for it to do what's hydraulics, where it would bounce up and down. It was one of those plastic model cars. And I went in there, I was so shocked because my mind is not wired that way to think to even know how to do something like that. And he was like 8 years old. And I think sometimes when we see somebody who stands out like that, we need to figure out where we need to put them
I'm
for
telling you.
for advancement.
I'm
Period.
telling you.
And my brother right now, he has his degree or his master's in psychology, but he spends most of his time in his garage. He remodeled his kitchen. He bought these 2 old cars that he fixed up. I mean, he is wired in a totally different way. I'm like shocked that he's even a psychologist. I'm like, this is not what you are made for. But
Wow. I noticed, and when it's funny you say that because I observe my grandkids when they're with me. We're not going to sit around and watch television the whole day. They don't really, how when your kids like to watch cartoons, these kids are different. They could care less about cartoons, movies, none of that stuff. They're my grandson likes to watch tutorials of how to do video games. So now he's learning coding. He's like self-taught. He's only 14 years old. So one day it was Christmas time, and you know how we as grandparents, we want to try to get stuff on their list and take them shopping and do all this kind of stuff. And I'm proud of myself. Now I just spent all this money. It's Christmas morning. And you know, the kids, the thrill is taking the wrappings off. And it's like, oh yeah. So I'm just kind of sitting around observing because that's my joy, is seeing them enjoying the fruits of my labor, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I noticed the youngest, I'm like, where's Jeremiah? They're like, I don't know. I said, is that he was sitting on the porch playing with sticks. And he always does this. I don't know what his fascination with sticks are, but he gathers them together and he builds things with them. And
Wow.
I'm sitting here, and I still, if somebody knows what this means, please help us out. I'm like, I just spent all this money on this boy for Christmas, and he's outside paying for something that was free. Sticks.
Yep.
And I say, God, I know it means something, but I don't know. And I pay attention. I listen, because you're right, Heather. We do have to find out how to invest in these kids, because sometimes kids act out because they're bored. They're not being
Yes.
challenged enough.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out what it is.
It is. I was at a high school. I had created a farm, and we were just getting ready to move into chickens and goats on this farm at this high school. We was starting to garden, and the kids were hated it sometimes because we'd have to take the water all the way from the building all the way over to the garden in buckets. And one of the girls was complaining. But one day we were talking about other things that can happen when you become a gardener, and we ended up talking about how they use plants for dye and how you can create material. One of the girls that I could not stand, she was an awful kid to me. That girl is now, based off of just being exposed to that farm, is now in the textile district in New York. She does dyes and creates material in the textile
What?
district. Yeah. So you never know what seeds you plant and what kids and what their interest is.
Yeah.
So I mean, in I mean, those are opportunities. We need to expose our kids to any and everything to find out what path they take in life.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. Well, I hope that you guys got something. Let me address Brian. Brian says that he would be lost without GPS. Me too.
Yep.
I even have to do the GPS to get back home sometimes. And thank God that it speaks to you now, because I probably, Heather, I probably ran in the back of somebody so many times. If I could, I'm telling you, that's why I picked this one, because I know this is something that everyone uses. And we
Mm-hmm.
need to understand the next time you get in your car and that GPS and you've set up that navigation system to get you to point A to point B, remember it was a Black woman that made it possible.
Yep.
Yeah. And he says she was an amazing woman, can't live without it. Thanks for sharing the video. Oh, I'm glad, Brian. I'm glad that you enjoyed that video, guys. Tonight's a short broadcast because we went through a lot of inventions that Black people, some they've gotten credit for, some not. All right, Heather, you have anything else you want to add?
Nope. I think I said what I needed to.
Oh, I know what we wanted to do. Let's recap on some of the things that we've already talked about so far for like 5 minutes, and then we're going to get out of here.
Okay.
Um, Don Lemon, have we seen anything new out of him yet? I don't. His trial was the ninth. He had to go back to court the ninth. I'm not sure
I
what.
saw him on TikTok yesterday, and what I noticed about him, he's talking a lot of smack. So I think he's feeling good about his court case.
What was he talking about? I didn't see
he
it.
was he was talking about something that had to do with a lady. I think it was Bondi. Somebody made a rude comment about somebody, and he was talking about that. So he's on fire right now. I've seen him a couple of times on TikTok. I haven't really just focused in on what he's talking about.
Well, somebody sent one of my friends sent me a video tonight of Jasmine, and she mentioned some of that. She was going in on Pam Bondi and how she just doesn't know her job because she's so busy out here trying to lock up journalists, but she's neglecting the fact that you got some pedophiles you need to be trying to lock up. She doesn't know the difference. So it's a war on words right now. I mean, I've
Mm-hmm.
never seen this country like this. It disgusts me. I hate watching news, but I have to. I watch it a lot. There's some of it I just can't stomach. Right now, I cannot stomach Trump. I'm sorry.
No.
Just I need a sedative, or I don't know, maybe I need a laxative. I don't know.
Ugh.
But I can't. I'm just so I can't. And it's just I think it's because of just being overwhelmed. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't sit down on the news not one day because there's going to be something, you know. And now there's a whole nother voting thing. Is it Philadelphia where they're trying I can't remember. I think it's Philadelphia where they're now trying to get the ballot.
Yes. I
Was it
think I heard
Philadelphia?
that. Yeah, I think I heard that. Yeah.
Think it's a game.
Yep.
That's going to be the title of our show. The next.
Yeah.
Think it's a game. This man is not playing. Y'all sitting around here worrying about Cardi B and what she's doing with Stefan Diggs and what
Glory, what's her name? Gorilla and her sister.
Glorilla and the sisters fighting and what's the other one name? Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
We out here worrying about that stuff. Y'all think it's a game. This man is trying to take away your voting rights. All right. We're not going to tell you here. We're not bringing the fluff. We're keeping it real on the Ella Johnson show. And I'm telling you, he's going to court. He is losing.
Mm-hmm.
He is losing. The courts are doing their job saying, bro, you know that's against the law. What's wrong with you? What's ailing you, Trump? You can't do that. And you know what Trump is saying? I'll get it. I'll get it one way or the other. Because that's what he did in Atlanta. That's what he did in Atlanta. That's why that was, guys, listen, when he raided the elections office in Atlanta, that was because he lost. So if he did it in Atlanta, what do you think he's going to do in Philadelphia or anywhere else where he's denied the ability to get? He needs to take over because he wants the DOJ to run elections. And if that should happen, who's to say, Heather, he's not going to not want to get out of office?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you think that's the plan?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I followed Don Lemon. What happened to him was disgusting and it is a threat to free. Absolutely.
Yes, it
Absolutely,
is.
Brian, because I mean, you being a cameraman, you're in this industry as well. That's actually how I met him in broadcasting school, right? Brian, you remember that? Anyway, he used to help me all the time, I think, in the room, because, you know, I was seeing all these buttons and I'm like, Lord, help a sister out. But anyway, it's sad because now when they control the press, and you see how they treat the reporters. Oh my God. Piggy.
You talking about in the White House?
Yes. When that girl, and then I just can't even get it out.
And then he had the nerve to do that video and make that lady a pig.
Oh, I didn't see
Obama.
that one.
Yeah, the one with Obama and
oh, there was somebody that was a pig. Yeah. Okay.
I'm like, oh my God, he is awful.
Yeah. Love you too, Brian. That's my friend right there, y'all. Mm-hmm. Brian, we got to work together, man. Because listen, I want to get out there and start doing stuff. And this man right here is one of the best cameramen in Orlando. We need to be together. I'm just saying. Because that's what I need. I want to be able to do me, but I need a team. I need somebody to help a sister out. So let's talk. Let's talk, Brian. Because I've always liked working with him. He's such a pleasant and professional, very professional. Yeah, he's attacking the press. Okay, if you guys wonder why is he attacking the press, Heather? What do you think?
Why? First of all, he's not dumb. He's dumb to the Constitution to even understand it.
You say he's not dumb. No, he is dumb.
Yeah. He is dumb to the Constitution. And I think that he is, he thinks, I hate to use this because it's overused. He thinks he's a king, but he's just rich and been able to do what he wants. And now he's in the White House where you certainly shouldn't be doing it. But because he's not smart enough to know better, he's just doing what he's been able to do in his real life, his delusional real life. He's been able to get away with it there, but here he can't. But I think those people that are behind him making some of this craziness happen, even worse, are using him for his ignorance.
I think they wanted him to get in, make a mockery of the government,
Mm-hmm.
um, because they knew he was dumb enough to do it. But I
Yeah.
don't think they wanted him to go this far.
You don't
That's
think
my thing.
Stephen Miller is I think Stephen Miller is the master of it all. He knows
I
how dumb Trump is. I agree with you. A lot of them probably don't want him to go this far, but Stephen Miller does. That man is evil.
Oh, he is very evil. Yeah, he's like evil on a popsicle
Yeah,
because he
he's
looks
Ku
like
Klux
a popsicle.
Klan evil. He's
Yeah.
the type that'll skin you and make you one of his lampshades.
Listen, make no mistake about it, guys. Y'all realize the KKK is not dead. They
Yeah.
don't have as many followers or members, but they're not dead. They change uniforms because a lot of the people that are joining now said that, you know what, that whole cone head robe thing, that's childish. We ain't doing that. So now y'all know, yeah, that's what they said, that why, they're changing things. That's why you're not going to see them marching in that outfit. But guess what robes they do have on? Church robes.
Yep.
They have on police uniforms. Think it's a game. I'm telling y'all, listen, I wish I were wrong about this stuff. Like, I really do wish I were wrong about this. I agree, Heather.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
I wish I were wrong about this, but I want y'all to, because people say, well, Ella, everybody likes to use those same things to talk about Trump, because
Hmm.
when he was not running for office and not trying to get into the political arena, black folks liked it. They used to hang out with him. Look at P. Diddy and Michael and Oprah and all those people. What do you say to that when you hear that? Because that's another talking point that we hear a lot of. What do you think about that when you hear that, Heather?
That's just money. I mean, money. We know a lot of people that's dead and was unhappy and had a lot of money. Trump's not unhappy though, but he thinks he's the world. But I think that them glorifying Trump is on a social level. Now we're talking politics, and this is a whole
Yeah.
different world that we've got a man in there that clearly doesn't understand the system he's been living in his whole dumb life.
Yeah. Not dumb life. Wow. Well, I mean, and I don't want to be the person that talks about all the stuff that we already know, but I don't think he is happy. Let me tell
You
you
don't?
why. No, I think he is miserable. I think that he is not, he is causing so much havoc in this country, and he's not getting the responses he was hoping. And that's making him sad,
Mm,
because people are now fighting back. His own people are against him. That wasn't supposed to happen. They were supposed to be hawing it up, and he's not getting the response he wants because they're still talking about Epstein files,
hmm.
right? And so now he realized, wow, I'm not as good as I thought I was.
No.
It's not working. You know what I'm saying? So I think in essence, he has a lot to pay for. He needs to really get it right. He needs to have a come to
Hmm.
Jesus. And
He's
anybody that follows that, because you're not gonna be able to hide one day. One day Jesus will come back,
hmm.
and he's
He's
coming
not
back quick.
smart enough. Exactly. And he's not smart enough to know when to stop. He doesn't. Even just standing at the podium calling people out horrible names. I mean, you don't know when you need to stop.
I even children will
Yes.
will get it together if you look at them long enough. Like, okay, now
Yeah.
you go.
You're doing too much.
He pushes the envelope because he can.
And has been
And
able to.
yeah, what would you like to see before we get out of here? I know I said that like three times now, but really, before we get out of here this time, what would you like to see the Dems do? Because I know we all have an opinion, because about what we think the Democrats should be doing, or even the Republicans should be doing. What is your hope that you would like to see over the next, I don't know, 3 to 6 months leading up to the midterms? What would you like to see?
I'd like to see them step up and really talk about why it's wrong. And I know they want to talk about the Epstein files, but they also need to be talking about issues that affect us on the day to day, like making sure that we get Trump out, because we need to be talking about high grocery bills and people can't pay utilities and rent. I just had a janitor tell me today he's probably going to lose his home. So I think the Democrats are going to have to really get out there and push why it's important not to put another Republican in. I ain't for the party stuff, but if they not right, get them out. And
Yeah.
right now,
And I'm and
Democrats
we're
have a
talking about
big,
even and we're talking about even some of the popular ones, like
yep,
Jeffries. That's who you're talking about as well, right?
yep, mm-hmm. Get them out. If they not helping, move them on.
Do you think people can be in there too long?
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I do.
Stale. I think so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can almost tell who's effective by, like, some people do it for a show, guys. I hate to say that, but that's what I feel when I hear some of our leaders. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's for show, and they feel like that's good enough. Because even at church, how many times have you heard somebody say, "Girl, that pastor, no, he preached today." And they said, "Well, girl, what was the sermon about?" "I don't know, but he got the hooting and hollering up there. Everybody was passing out, right?"
Yep.
Because we're okay with just being entertained. Life ain't gonna change. Don't know a new scripture that you can meditate on. Nothing, but you felt good in that moment enough to even give up your light bill money. I'm just
Yep.
saying.
So
And there's
true.
no growth mentally. We have to change this, guys. And in talking Black history, I can't rightfully do it in a good conscience to come here and make it seem like, oh, white people have just torn us up. We just messed up, toe up from the floor up. We can't do nothing, because that would be a lie, and I'm not gonna
Yep.
lie. Okay, we can't blame white people for the fact that we can't pick up the internet and get off of TikTok, get off of all this other stuff for a minute and learn our history. You can't blame nobody for that. If you
Exactly.
got light, right?
Yep.
So we got to take some accountability for this. We're talking about history, and we talked about the Willie Lynch letter. I'm telling you the intention, but we're not slaves anymore. And if we're not careful, because do you think, Heather, that we could ever in this country bring back Jim Crow laws?
I think we'll go to war then. I don't. No,
What
no,
did you say, Heather? Yeah.
nope. I think that'll be a civil war. They ain't gonna be as. I mean, white America fears that we're gonna um, attack them at any moment, and they really think that. I've had white friends tell me that you attempt something like that, it's on and popping.
You've had friends tell you that they're afraid that blacks are gonna just go off one day.
Yeah, eventually they're gonna pay. We're gonna pay them back. They're fearful of that happening. But like I said the other night, one of our biggest, sweetest. I talk about Black people. We're bittersweet. We're mad about what happened in our history, but we're sweet enough to not let our compassion turn into bitter against people. That's not the nature of our beast. And white people are lucky for that.
That's the same thing Louis Farrakhan said.
Mm-hmm.
He said that. He said, "You guys, your guilt is eating at you. That's why you're angry, because you don't know what way we're going to come from. You're hoping that the religion you taught us will stick, and that we'll love those who have abused us and hurt us. You're hoping that," he said, "because your fear is that what you did to us, you're afraid that we're going to turn around and do it to you."
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, this love that we have in our heart, it was definitely taught. It was
Mm-hmm.
taught. Turn the other cheek. And to the point to where I literally got hit on the cheek and turned the other cheek. I'm not talking about like mentally, I'm talking about physically, because I felt like that was me being a Christian, was
Mm-hmm.
taking all this stuff off of people. But guess what? That's the same thing the slaves thought. That's a
Mm-hmm.
slave mentality, you know?
Yep.
So we got to make sure that we're not confusing love of God with slave mentality. And how do we
Mm-hmm.
tell the difference? Should we have loved our slaves? Should we have served them?
Our slave, the master?
The slave masters. Yeah, I'm sorry, the slave masters. Should we have loved them? Should we have forgiven them? Should we have said God gonna get them? I mean, should we have left it there, or is that something that's unresolved? I want you to tell me what you think about that, Brian. You're watching the show. I really want you to answer that question for me because we're friends, and I want to know how you feel hearing how the Caucasians treated African Americans during slavery times and all of this. How do you feel about that? I mean, I'm just curious. Like, Nat Turner was a pastor and he killed people. And if there is no message that I couldn't understand, I'm like, wait a minute. It messed up with our psyche. He's a pastor and he killing folks? Okay, God, was God in that? Have you ever thought and wondered, was God really in that? He killed people. Did God really want him to crush the serpent head, like physically for real? Because that's one of the scriptures he alluded to that justified what he did, was crushing the serpent's head.
But think about the immoral ways slave masters lived. I mean, there were even slave plantations that had slaves, and their only job was to reproduce. So they abused us sexually. I mean, and that part of history is that's the truth that they don't want to come out, because those are the monstrous things that were done to us, that are realities that they have to face. And we can talk about Betsy Ross creating the flag and the Tea Party and all that stuff that happened. But there's another side to white America that truth needs to be told too. And right now we're almost facing that reality, thinking it's going to come back.
We talked last night about how, well, Monday night, we started the week off talking about how the White House showed the movie Birth of a Nation, and it empowered the KKK. It set the stage for this country and what it was going to stand for and what it's going to believe in. And I don't see, because just because you signed the Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, you can sign all that stuff, because now you're trying to pull it away. When people say that we're not made like that this country is not like that, we're better than that, I'm here to tell you, you are like that. You
You
are
are
savage.
that.
You are.
You built on
And you
that.
got the nerve to call us savages. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if there's nothing else that I think angers me more than anything, is when they call us the same savages, that we're just so violent. Guys, let me just share with y'all. Presidents started that mess because those were dog whistles to the Black community. It was purposeful. It was intentional for them to come into our neighborhoods and police it more. Okay. You
Mm-hmm.
realize that policing it comes from slavery, because all police were just slave watchers. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, really, Ella? Yes. Yes. They learned their methods. That's why you see all of this stuff today with police and how they treat African Americans. It was designed to be that way. They just
Yep.
left, they just took off one crown, that what do you call those things that KKK wore, the cone? They just took that on and put on a police hat.
Yep.
If you don't
Wear
believe
a
me, Google
suit.
it.
Yep.
Google it.
So,
So, yeah, go ahead.
what, oh God, I forgot what I was gonna say. I think that I think that we also when you were talking about them saying that we're savages, I think sometimes, I mean, we have to stop. And I've had white people say that before too, about savages. There's It's few and far in Black history that we've gone into communities, white communities, and attacked them and burned down. Where you can say that about Nat Turner, but you can say that based off of the life they were living at that time. But it's not many times that Black people have gone into a white neighborhood and terrorized people. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We're more safe they're more safe walking through our neighborhoods. We're quicker to help them than they are to help us in their own neighborhoods. I seen, and I don't know if I told you on this show, I seen a black guy, a white guy on TikTok talking about how he was running from the police and the white folks. He was running through a white neighborhood and white people was trying to help the police. He made it into the black neighborhood and black people was trying to help him get away from the police. It's rare that they come in our neighborhood and I mean in our neighborhoods and they're in danger, but we always are in danger of going through their neighborhoods because there's reasons why they think we're there and they're not good reasons.
Yeah, ugh, I don't, I'm going to say this, and I hate that I feel this, but I don't feel that we are equipping ourselves to come together, the Black community. I don't think that we are equipping ourselves with that because we're not having the right conversations.
I
We should
agree.
be talking more about owning land. Because when you think about it, and let's just break down the characteristics of Greenwood, that's your hood. There
Mm-hmm.
was a massacre there. That it was so bad that they dismantled that Black community, Black Wall Street. So let's examine what were they doing that made them so intimidated. Let's just throw some things out. They own their own businesses,
Yep.
banks, airports, hangars, what else? Schools,
Yep.
everything they
Parks.
needed,
Mm-hmm.
parks.
Barber and
They
beauty shops.
loans.
Everything.
Somebody wanted a loan. They went to a Black bank, got Black
Mhm.
money, green money, but you know what I mean, and kept it right there in Greenwood. When I
And
listened to that, go ahead, you go ahead. This is your story.
no, no, but one thing, and Terry talks about this in his tours too. There was so much money flowing through Tulsa that black people could go and work because there was so much oil money. They could be a what do you call the elevator people, the butlers or whatever? They could run that and make lots of money off tips and come back into the neighborhood. And the dollar never left, or it left 36 times before it ever left the community. That's how powerful the Greenwood district was. We were able to make our money stick in our community. Now it leaves after 50 cents. one, one term, it's gone.
So if we're ever going to have Black unity, we're not going to do it by using their money.
Ooh, say it again. Whew,
It's
that's
not
what
going to
we're
happen.
running into right now.
We'll leave our neighborhood and run all the way to the mall, way on the other side of town, and invest money in there, and then bring it back over here, and we just keep going back and forth. Because the reason I say that is because I heard that in the video, in Terry's documentary. There was someone that said that the North, when everybody scattered and everybody went to live in North Tulsa, I guess it was, and
South.
how South, they went to South, and how they feel like by bringing everybody back together, that's what destroyed the Tulsa community, Greenwood. It eventually destroyed it because we should have stayed separate.
Yeah. I tell people there's three things that destroyed Greenwood after 1921. It was desegregation, redlining, and urban renewal.
Yeah.
Because when we rebuilt after 1921, we rebuilt, and it was three times better than it was before 1921. We had a good 40-year run, and then urban renewal and redlining and desegregation helped to destroy the community, even,
Ugh,
I mean, completely.
really.
Hmm.
And it looks nothing like it did, right?
No, I can remember going straight down Greenwood. Now there's a turn, there's two. So the other thing that we need to understand too is there's two universities, OSU and Langston University. So there's two state-owned properties, pretty large pieces of land that was once owned by black people in Greenwood. You have We have a public library that's on the other side of Pine, which is not, well, it's a part of the Greenwood district, but they're moving it into an area where there was a park. So now we have this city county library that doesn't generate tax dollars, just like the two universities. We have about five or six churches that don't generate tax dollars. We've got 4, what do you call it? When something floods, like a ravine, I can't remember what you call those.
Like a dam
Retention ponds, 4
or retention.
retention ponds, and
Mhm.
Greenwood is never flooded. But we got 4 retention ponds that you could actually put businesses on that could generate tax dollars to make our schools in North Tulsa better. But those are the things that Black people don't critically think about. Why are we putting a library that's already on the other side of Pine in the Greenwood district that doesn't generate tax dollars? We could have took that land and opened it up for Black businesses to be able to build there, but that didn't happen because we got elected officials that are voted in because they're in a sorority or they're popular and ain't really bright about what to do, and they want to spend their time telling white people how racist they are instead of focusing on how to save our Black community.
You know, my friend Crystal said that when she said that we like to elect people in the office who we know, that's my frat, that's my did. Do we take it too far when it comes to these frats,
Yes, we do.
sororities?
Yes, you do. I know we want to get off here, but I'm gonna tell you this quick story. So right now, Tulsa's we have back in 2001 when the second group of survivors sued the state and the city for reparations, and they lost. They did win an opportunity to have reconciliation for Tulsa students to get a scholarship. And
Hmm.
so that scholarship has just came up. So we've got an elected official who wanted to revamp the scholarship program. So she went in there and did it, and they liked it. But she's so difficult to work with. Now, mind you, we're a red state. Ain't many of us and ain't many Democrats in office. So she's so combative that none of the people, no matter if they're Democrats or Republican, want to work with this lady. So she goes in there and she's arguing with these people constantly, being disrespectful to them. So anything she puts forth, they're now saying they're going to make it dead on arrival. So how does she benefit a Black community that puts her in office to do the work, but she's spending her time being disrespectful and talking all this Black power stuff, but she can't even get anything passed because she can't even work across the aisle and be respectful enough to the people. So now her bill's not going to pass. They end up getting another Black elected official in the House and a white guy in the Senate to rewrite the bill, and they'll pass it. But she's
What
not
was wrong
even,
with it? What was wrong
nothing
with
was
the
wrong
bill?
with it. They liked it, and they was actually going to give her $10 million more to put in it. But she's so silly. And so they just play her game too. You gonna be nasty and disrespectful. We gonna be nasty and disrespectful to you too. We not gonna pass any of your bills. They not even gonna make it into committee. So she ends up
Wow.
coming to last night. She has a meeting in Tulsa when she's supposed to be in Oklahoma City, getting ready for the next morning. She's in Tulsa meeting with Black people so that she can explain that the Black guy who's carrying the bill, the new bill now that she's mad about, she wants, I guess, to create this illusion that he's creating this bill or whatever. First of all, you're at a point where nobody sitting in that room that you're talking to can even go and vote. You have to go back to the Oklahoma City and convince those people to vote for your bill. But you're spending time down in Tulsa talking to the people who elected you, and you ain't even doing your job right.
I guarantee you, though, Heather, if we go back, that's what she did on the campaign trail. That's how
She's
she got
combative.
elected.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And at
And we
some
like
time,
that. We
yeah, we
like
do.
being entertained. Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
somebody doing their job.
It's one thing to be a leader, but it's a whole different ball game to be an effective one.
Yes.
Anybody can get up there and be a puppet and say things that sound good, but
Yeah,
I'm judging you by your fruit. What are you able to get accomplished?
exactly. Because there's
You
many
know,
white people right now who I'm talking to that are in office that are really a little bit more in favor of reparations, but we haven't
really?
had Black people in office who, I mean, they spend too much time on Black power, all this advocacy and talking it, but not walking
Well, you got there's your campaign manager right there, Heather.
it.
Terry Backer says Heather for state senate. Terry, you gonna run the campaign? Like,
Oh God.
I'll come down. I really do think I would love to see you in politics, Heather, to be honest.
You
Like,
know,
real
I
talk.
ran for state senate before.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah, and I ran against the woman that's in office right now. We can't stand each other. Yeah.
Oh. So how
But
was your
it's all popularity. That's what it's based off of. You know, her family is the good ones. They know everybody. And I'm Heather Nash. So I
really?
ran again. Yeah. It's it's a ugly,
Hmm.
it's ugly. But I hear it happens in a lot of black communities all over. But I think, and I've had black people from other cities talk about how horrible Tulsa's black politics is here. And a lot of it centers around the Greenwood district. Everybody wants the Greenwood district.
Because
There's so much value to it. Right now, the biggest talk and the biggest want is have you ever been to Tulsa?
never.
There's two buildings on Greenwood and Archer, which are owned by the second oldest black chamber in the country, and they're
Mhm.
in the hands of black people. Every black person that's some of the ones who are kind of leading the way for the Greenwood stuff want those buildings, and they hate the guy that has them. He's actually from Alabama. His name is Dr. Freeman Cover. He is from Dothan, Alabama. And he's the president of the Greenwood Chamber, and they want him out so they can take control. This is how bad we believe it is. They would rather see white people buy those buildings or find a way to get them, and then they just run them. That's how scary we feel like this is.
But listen,
It's
I
deep.
already got you. Oh, we already got, girl, we setting you up. Brian says, I'll bring my camera and do a PR video for Heather.
Oh, Brian, we're gonna get a plane ticket. You and Ella Johnson can be on your way. I ain't playing. Let's make this happen. We need
Oh,
to
I'm
tell
not
the
playing
story
either. You know,
on
I
a
already said
national
I'm coming
level.
to Tulsa.
And I've been
We
doing
definitely,
TikToks
yeah.
because we're trying to get to start building the story to talk about the Greenwood Chamber. There's only 4 buildings left that are connected to what happened in 1921. All 3 of them are still in the hands of black people. One is in the city's hands. Our mission is to make sure that they stay in black, and that's important for the city too, to make sure that those buildings are still in control of black people. Black people still have control of them. It doesn't look good for white people to think they can come in and buy the Greenwood Chamber buildings from Greenwood. There's no respect there for them doing that. But some of them want that. And more than anything, black people, some of the black people wouldn't mind white folks buying those buildings and then them just running them.
Why
That's how
though?
desperate.
Ownership is where your power is, though.
But it's Dr. Freeman Cover. And they're mad that he is over it and he ain't from Tulsa.
How did he get his hands on it?
He was on the board, and then each board president stepped down and he eventually became it. And he honestly has been a savior. That's a strong word, but he's been a savior to keep those in black hands. Because when he took it over, we found out that they were behind in property taxes, they were behind in stadium taxes, they were almost going to default on a loan,
Ah,
and he saved them from all of that, from those buildings being lost.
thank God
So
then. What was his
yeah,
interest? Does he have family there or something?
he came here, he's a professor, and he came here and started working at a university, and then he just started plugging himself in. He's been really, really, really beneficial to the Greenwood community, especially. And to be honest, where we are now, it's 44 black owned businesses in those 2 buildings. 60% of them are women. The other part of that is we have the highest concentration of black owned businesses in that one area in the whole state.
So do you anticipate that he wants to sell?
No, he does not.
Oh,
He
okay.
knows better. No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
He
Because
would
y'all will
be
be all on that.
Yeah,
right?
he'd be shot and killed. He wouldn't want that anyway. He wouldn't dare. They don't want him. I want you and Brian to head to Tulsa because there's a documentary. Both of y'all could win an Emmy if you heard the stories we have.
I would love that. I love to interview people telling their stories. I love that.
We got
Really?
a,
So you think
yeah.
there's a market for us to be able, because I mean, what's happening there besides that? That would be something that possibly that can help boost the midterms. Like,
I think Well, right now, one of the things they're trying to push is this national monument, and we've been like, no, we don't want that. But we've got people coming in outside the district that don't really have anything connection to Greenwood. They push for this national monument, but never talk to the stakeholders or the business owners down there to see if they even wanted this to be a national monument. So one of the things we put in our restitution plan was we can become our own curators. We can become our own archivists to be able to handle our own history and manage that. We don't need the government. And think about it now, how scary it would be for us to be a national monument. And Trump is trying to get rid of Black history, wanting to shut down the National Black Museum. That makes no sense. Yeah, it's deep. There's a lot of things that we could push to even empower people to get up and go vote.
I think Juneteenth would be a great time.
Yes, y'all need to come because a lot of people don't know. Our Juneteenth and Houston were the two biggest. We used to compete with Houston. We still do every year. I've never known life without Juneteenth. My whole life we've had Juneteenth.
I
I
see
was
that you
shocked.
have a strong presence there for
Yeah,
Juneteenth. I think that we should definitely. So, what do you say, Brian? Are you interested, like for real? Because if we're gonna do anything, I know you guys probably have cameramen there, but I would love, for Brian to go because I think it would be great. It would be a great experience for both of us.
yeah,
Um, to be there like for a few days and just kind of see what's going on the ground, set up some interviews, some
yes.
tours. I would like to do a tour with Terry on
Oh,
camera.
Terry is
Walking
worth it.
through. Yeah.
And I know Terry's a friend of mine, and people be like, "That's your friend. You just throwing it." I don't care. He's probably one of the best tour guides I've never seen. He got his name Mayor of Greenwood because he used to harass people when they're walking past. And I was like, he's the mayor of Greenwood. So that's how he earned his name. He does a good job of tours and
I know I
talking to
definitely want to do one of the tours when I come. We definitely have to do it. Brian says, I have a friend who has worked on documentaries. I'm going to see her tomorrow. I'm going to tell her about you. She would probably love to help us make the documentary.
Let's do that. I'm down for that. Yes. And y'all can get yourselves an Emmy.
Terry, wouldn't that be nice, Brian? Oh my goodness. That would be so nice. I've known Brian for a long time. Like I said, I met him at the Kinetic School of Broadcasting here in Orlando, and we've just kind of been friends ever since. Ever
Yeah.
since. Terry says, "Ha ha ha ha." It was called
The
Jubilee when we
Jubilee,
were
yeah.
kids.
Yeah, we used to call it
Oh,
Jubilee
really?
and
Oh, it was called the
yeah.
Jubilee.
Yeah, we Juneteenth was called the Jubilee for years, and then they commercialized it a little bit more, and we had like Pepsi, American Airlines, ONG, all these companies come in and they changed it to the Juneteenth.
Yeah, I want to see more than just a parade and hot dogs and barbecues. Like we need some real speaking, some real um, because they try to turn it into a negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
They'll catch somebody doing something and then boom, before you know it, that's what the news is capturing. Oh, look at this Juneteenth. They're acting like whatever, whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
It needs to mean more than just that. We need to tell the story.
Yeah.
Tell the story. Why are we celebrating this and not celebrating 4th of July? Don't let people take your history and tell you that because we get off work for 4th of July, but we don't get off of Juneteenth
Yeah.
because it's not recognized in all states, right? And I think that we need to change the narrative and We really need to learn our history, and we need to realize that we can do a lot of this stuff and do it better, man. If they could do it, why can't we do it? Let's win an Emmy.
Little Emmy,
Yes, Brian.
yes. Yes.
I'm really serious about it. That's why I'm kind of really listening and asking you questions about it, because I do feel that I am being led to push more, and that's coming from God. But I'm seeking Him for which way, because there has
Exactly.
to be an awakening in our country, and sometimes it starts with grassroots.
Yes, it
That's
does.
how we can change it, because
Exactly.
everybody is bought. They're bought and paid for. They're set in their ways. They're living comfortably. They're not really trying to fight for people for real, for real. They're good, and they're not
Mm-hmm.
going to want to mess that up for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
there's some people that God has prepared for times like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's no coincidence. How did I even meet you, Heather?
Through
Oh, through
Terry
Terry.
during Juneteenth last year.
That's right. And how did I meet Terry? Terry, how did I meet you?
Terry, he told me,
How
what
did
did
I
he
how did
tell
I
me?
meet him?
He's old through Karen Reese. That's what he told me. You know, Karen
That's
Reese?
how I met him then.
Yeah, that's how he told.
That's how you see how this world. I've never met Heather in person. I've never met Terry in person, but yet we've known each other for years. And
Yeah.
I think that God has kept that alive for such a time as this. We just have to seek God for what to do it, because we don't want to we don't want to be like Nat. We
Yeah.
don't want to be. Girl, you tickled me last night when you were talking about what was he thinking? Was he gonna kill up a bunch of people and just go sit on the porch? Like what?
I know. What was he going with
Where
this?
you going, baby?
Hope you leaving the state.
Yo, just what y'all thought that? I guess they thought the white people were just like, well, last week a whole bunch of white people died, and well, we're just gonna go. We finna find these people that killed them, and we finna kill
Exactly.
them, right? And but see, Heather, this is the thing. You wouldn't have been able to find me. I would have been in 3 states
I would have
already.
been gone.
I
I'd
would,
knocked you all out and gone.
I would have been like, because when you think about Rosewood, how were so many people able to survive, Heather? And I'm gonna tell you,
Running.
real talk. That
Yeah.
guy, the white man that was hiding people and helped them, he made that connection to get on that train and get to Gainesville. There are a lot of white people, and I'm going to bring up a lot of that too in this month, because I mean we have to be honest. If we're going to tell history, tell it the whole truth. That
Mm-hmm.
there were definitely white people that were willing, like with the Freedom Riders. These people, they were okay with being a part of that Bloody Sunday. There were
Yep.
some of them that got roughed up out there,
Yep.
okay, fighting for us. So we can use that history for us to come together. Because one thing for sure, if you're going to be a leader, you have to know how to work with everybody.
Exactly.
Yep.
Fred Hampton was good at doing that.
He was excellent at it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't do that, sit down somewhere.
Exactly.
Call me. He said she called me today. Yeah, because
Karen Reese.
yep, I meet people on here, and then they introduce me to more other people, and I think that collectively we can do, because seriously, Heather, me, you, and Terry, let's talk. Let's make a plan for Juneteenth, because that's what, how many months away? We got at least 5 months or
3 months.
so.
Yeah,
For
and I'm
three.
actually in the process of working with American Airlines to see if they'll donate 4 tickets for me to go around the country to get money for the Greenwood Chamber, or for the Deep Greenwood Foundation, to be able to help the Greenwood Chamber. But uh, I can hopefully get them to get tickets to fly you and Brian in
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, because when we come, we need to definitely send out press releases to the radio stations, TV networks, everybody,
Hmm.
newspapers. I don't care. Get
Yeah,
it out there, because then it'll get the attention, it'll gain the attention of national media if
yeah.
we're able to do
Because
that, because
to
that's the
be
idea.
honest, exactly. Because to be honest with you, one thing the Deep Greenwood Foundation has prided ourselves on, the little bit that we've done so far has been with Black money, or white people who have intentionally cared enough to give us money for an event with no strings attached. They just want to make sure that our mission happens. And we know that in Tulsa that some of our fraction is based on the fact that there's this wealth of white money that that is controlling Black people. So we've chosen to seek outside of the city and the state for funding.
And this is a story that some people are actually starting to feel bad about.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play on that. Oh, you
Okay.
feel bad? Okay, well, let's write a check. While you feeling that, let's write a check right now so we can change some lives. Let's
Yep.
restore this community back to what it was meant to be.
Exactly.
Because
I'm gonna send
that's how
you.
you can repay.
Yep. I'm
Yeah.
gonna send you and Brian our restitution plan because that'll kind of help you understand Deep Greenwood Foundation's mission in this whole
Okay.
thing. I'll
Okay.
send you that because that'll be kind of helpful for the documentary. We actually had a guy a couple of weeks ago come on Greenwood. He's a cartoonist, but he is super interested in doing a reality show on Greenwood.
Really? A
Uh-huh.
reality show.
Yeah.
What
So
a
you,
freaking great idea.
because it is comical. It is comical
Yeah.
what we see. I mean, we
Terry
got a
says
lot of
yes.
We got an ice cream shop that everybody hangs out in. We got a t-shirt shop we got a soul food restaurant. We got a chicken wings restaurant where people go and hang out. I mean, there is a lot of substance there to create a reality show. It's entertainment.
Really? We're entertaining anyway, though. I mean,
Yes.
we don't even, we really are just naturally entertaining anyway. But Terry says he has access to a radio station on Greenwood Ave, the original
Yep.
Black Wall Street. Okay. Access. That's what we need. All right. Hold on to that. I'm looking forward to being a part of this. I definitely want to help tell your story. Girl,
Eh,
won't he do it?
yes.
The first thing you said to me tonight when you came on, you said, "Oh, Ella, it's just me and you." That's how God
That's the
intended it.
reason. Yep.
I already know that. That's why I don't worry about anything like that ever, because I know God is in it.
Yeah.
He's always in it because me as the lead person.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you are. You'd be the star for sure. Because Terry either makes you mad or make you happy.
I know he makes me mad when he get on here and can't get his camera right.
I
I
know.
know
It's
that.
dark as night.
And then Heather, this is what he'll say. Why, you don't need to worry about seeing me. You can hear me, can't you?
That's
Yeah,
Terry.
but yeah. Like, what you mean? I want to see you too. I love ice cream and soul food.
Well, we can make that happen.
You guys have some good soul food restaurants there?
We do. We do. We
Yeah,
do.
that's where I
We
want to go
actually,
first.
do you know who he used to be the mayor of Sacramento? He was a pro basketball player. Um, Terry, what's his name? He was married to the Asian girl from that was the DC superintendent that lost her job. And he got married to her. Gosh, I can't think his name right now. But he owns a soul food restaurant there too called Fixins.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, are there a lot of the originals still there from the original Wall Street, or though all those businesses are gone?
Is there any original? I can't think of one off. Kevin Johnson is the mayor. I mean, was the mayor of Sacramento. That owns a restaurant. I'm trying to think if there's a business on Greenwood that was there then. Mm,
So,
I can't
God,
think of one.
while Heather's thinking, if you're just tuning in, we're definitely about to get out of here. But we started this conversation tonight talking about the inventions that Black people have contributed to this country. However, some did not get credit, some did. But then we continued our conversation, just kind of recapping the week, everything we've talked about. Now we're talking about myself and Terry. Larry, Brian going to Tulsa to possibly do a documentary with Heather and Terry, and just kind of bringing that story back so that we can actually walk the city with you guys and everybody can take a look at it, see what's going on.
Yes.
Go and sit down in some restaurants, talk to the people, and also talk to people that don't live in the Greenwood district.
Mm-hmm.
and find out what they feel about it. Like, because I'm sure a lot of the people, what do you feel is the response from Caucasians there in Tulsa about this story? Is it one that they're trying to hush, silence, or they're like, no, 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 we welcome it. Talk about it. We want to know more. Like, what's the feel there?
It's limited when it comes to I think the majority of white people are against the reparations, but there is a nice number of white people that are in favor of it. You know, they want
We
to
want
see
to talk to
something
them too.
happen.
We want
Yeah.
to talk to them too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, T's barbecue. Yeah, T's barbershop and the Oklahoma Eagle were definitely two that were there. And I forgot about those two. Yes, Jack's
Jack.
Funeral Homes. Yeah, that's why
So
we got
that's good.
Terry.
That's good because we'll definitely want to talk to those people, find out how they were able to stay there and keep their business going without losing their momentum. Because a lot
Now
of people,
the Oklahoma Eagle, the lady, the senator that I was talking about, that's her
yeah.
family. That's her family that owns the Oklahoma Eagle.
Oh, really? You
Yeah,
mean
I worked.
the one that you can't stand?
Uh-huh. I worked, and matter of fact, her first cousin and I are really good friends. I was his campaign manager when he ran for city council.
See, we got to find a way to get her under this umbrella too. Let me tell you why. Even though there's like a disdain for one another, because she's influential, whether it's good or bad, she still has some kind of influence.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd rather work with her than work against her,
Yeah.
get her to change her narrative, and get her to
Mm-hmm.
see the with them, what's in it for me. Let her see what it is for her, because that's what everybody wants to know. What's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
we can use her. We can use that to our advantage, because at
I
the end of
agree.
the day, the game is to win.
Exactly.
And good leaders, we figure that out because we know how to work with people, even that
I
don't agree
agree.
with us. Yeah.
I
So
agree.
I'm looking forward to it, girl. Well,
Yes.
I'm glad we had this conversation. I feel like I got to know a little bit more. What Candace Matthews talking about? What Candace Matthews talking about? Uh, okay. I don't
Who's-
know. That's from the Global Network. This Candace Matthews. There's this whole thing going on with her and one of my friends, um, who Quanell X. It's all that mess.
Oh,
It's a lot
okay.
of that kind of stuff. And we're gonna bring Jennifer on the story, because I even said, hey, look, y'all want to talk about it? Bring them both here to the Ella Johnson show. Let's hash it out. There's a lot of going back and forth. I mean, there's a lot of legal stuff, so that's
Oh,
why I'm
okay.
like really staying away from that for right now until I know more. Terry says everything you see now in the district is because of urban renewal and eminent domain and highway. Oh wow, really? Yeah, you mentioned that. So they felt like they had to come in there because it was all messed up at some point or something. And was that their reason? Like what? Why was? How did that become an issue?
People started moving out. Desegregation
Oh,
made it
okay,
easier for people to leave, and then redlining. They weren't able to get loans to fix up their
loans.
businesses, and so
That's right.
you
That's
know,
right.
is a way to wipe out the history and the community all at the same time.
Yeah. But no, Rich, we can talk about that. I am definitely not opposed to it. I just need to get with both parties, because I believe in telling both sides of that story. If we're going to tell that story, I want both of them here so that we can sit down. I think they finally need to sit, because it's a whole mess that's going on, and I would love to facilitate a conversation, because that's what we got to change and emulate in this culture in this country now. Nobody knows how to sit down and talk. We just talking
Yeah,
at each other and nothing's getting done. But it's going to take real leaders that understand there's always two sides, and we got to definitely be willing to hear both of them. Real talk. It was a travesty. Yeah. So we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you so much, Heather. It was real. It always is.
yeah.
When we get together, Terry. Whenever Terry figures out how to fix his camera and gotta keep his camera.
Get some lights.
Now, Terry, I love you, my brother. I appreciate him being here and commenting and watching. I love you, my friend. I can't wait. So yeah, let's talk seriously, Heather.
Okay.
On that, because I think that we may be able to kind of squeeze some more stuff in as well. Because
Okay.
whatever your goal is, I think it's time to ask for it now. I really
Thank
do.
you. I'm appreciative of y'all, and I'm gonna work hard to get the money for the hotel, the food, and the flight.
Now I can get one of them let out beds.
You can even stay in my house. I'll put you and Brian in my house.
Listen, now one thing about us, that's how Martin Luther King did, right?
Yep,
They had to figure it out.
Yeah,
they had to figure it out. Listen, Tulsa was the oil capital of the world. That's why it was known as the most affluent Black community in the country. It really was, guys. If you really want to hear a story of success, something that Black people put together that was a bona fide success, the Greenwood community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and how they just couldn't stand it, tore it up. And they use the government to do it. Isn't that some deputy?
Yeah.
Girl, this is the part that made me mad, is how they were just giving guns to anybody.
Yep, deputizing.
Like, here,
Crazy.
can you shoot the gun? Now make sure you don't shoot me. Yeah, just any Black people you see. Any Black people you see, take them out. Men, women, children, don't make no difference. And I know we're being comical, but that's exactly what happened, guys.
Yeah.
Until everybody left. That was a very sad story. That's why we started Black History with the Tulsa race and Akoi here in Orlando. Yeah. But Orangeburg was a bad one too. So Monday, we're going to be talking about it's going to be Massacre Monday next week. Yeah. We're going to try to hit some more of the more serious massacres that's happened in this country. Even we want to hit some more of them on Monday night. And then, of course, next weekend, I'm going to be here for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, talking Alabama history. Listen, there's a whole lot of history. I hope you're going to be here for that one. That's going to be the only time I'm going to be on Saturday and Sunday. Y'all, I started this thing out by, I'm going to go every single day. Well, yeah. Well, listen, and I'm going to be a grandmom on Tuesday again. I'm so
congratulations.
Yes, I'm excited. That will be grandbaby number 7.
Oh.
So I am excited about that. I'm still going to be here, though. I'm going to go to the hospital, then I'm going to come home, and I'm going to come to you and have a show. Then I'm going to go back to the hospital. We got to stay true to it. We got a lot of stuff left to cover. There's a lot more Black history to go. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I wouldn't mind. I love some good home cooking. See, look at that.
We're going to take care of y'all.
That's it. As Heather would always say, Greenwood happened because we weren't included, but excluded. That's right. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here with us throughout the month. Some of you have come, maybe not every night, but you guys are sharing the broadcast, and I appreciate it, because at the end of all of this, then I'm obviously going to play back. I'm not replaying anything yet. We're going to wait till the month is over. And then we're going to bring all of the shows back to you so you can see what you missed. But thank you so much for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. We'll be back here tomorrow night. And tomorrow night's subject, we're going to talk about the women of Black history. Ooh. Listen, they always say that Black women are some of the most powerful force in this country. And that when it came to voting, powerful. It's true. You're going to see why. It's all coming up tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central. Y'all have a great evening.
You too.
And, we'll see you. You're going to be back tomorrow, right, Heather? Yeah.
Yeah, I will be.
Oh, she's so faithful. I just love it. We'll see you guys. Have a great. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. We'll see you next time.
We are supporters of the Ella Johnson Show. We live in South Korea. We have been watching Ella Johnson's show for like a year now, and we love her show. Her show is very inspirational, motivational, and educational.
If you would like to be a guest on The Ella Johnson Show, send an email to theellajohnsonshow@gmail.com or send a text message to 407-334-6997.
We love Ella Johnson Show.